Unfortunately, about shortly after 3 p.m., an armed male entered a Kauai House Street business looking for a female employee. She wasn't present, however, he continued to threaten several other employees, and he opened fire, and he fired a single round into the ground. He also attempted to set the business on fire before he drove away. The officers identified the possible suspect, and they began searching for him. And based on the information provided, the officers went to several locations, and we were able to locate the suspect. We caught him in the parking lot of the location where his resident was, in the truck that he was using. He was ordered to exit the vehicle, which he did, and as he exited the vehicle and faced the officer, he pulled a firearm from his waistband and pointed it at the officer. One of our officers fired several shots at the suspect, and he's been taken to a local hospital in critical condition. And that's pretty much all we have right now.
You had a press conference earlier today regarding the shooting that happened last night in Mililani, and you specifically said if these people pay attention, if they do what the officers ask, this wouldn't happen. It's another case, but it illustrates the danger that your officers are facing, ironically, on a night where you swear in 23 brand new officers.
It really is, and the question came up in my concern, earlier in the earlier press conference. It is, and I mean we're seeing more violence against the officers, not just here in Hawaii, but on the mainland as well, and it's unnecessary. Just listen to the officers, pay attention, and do what they say, and everything will come out fine.
Are you providing officers any additional training? Are you having more just discussions? I heard you today before you administered the oath, not you, but another gentleman, telling them that every time they go on a call and they meet a man, they meet a woman or a child, take the time to meet them. These are the citizens. These ultimately try to develop relationships. How increasingly difficult is that becoming?
The majority of our population, and I would dare say like 99% of the people out here on this island, they support our officers. And that's what we're talking about, is reconnecting with the community. Talk to people, let people get to know you as a person, not just as an officer. And hopefully this type of relationship, we can build not only with the older population, but also now with the youth, getting more involved with youth programs, talking to our kids, and let them know that we're just people too, like everybody else. And, this is family. This isn't the way Hawaii was, 10, 15, 20 years ago. And it's just sad to see the changes that are coming about, and we really want to turn that around.
Chief, just getting back to tonight's incident, do we know why the suspect went to that shop over on Kauai House Street?
It's still under investigation. I know that he was looking for a former employee who was there, but that's all that we have at this time. Unfortunately, we haven't. We were kind of scuttling, trying to hurry to get something together for you folks tonight.
Any information on him having a TRO or a TRO that she put against him?
I don't have that information right now, but as obviously we're going to be tomorrow morning. We'll be releasing more information as we get it from this case.
We saw undercover officers there. Was it a crew, the crime reduction unit again, that found the suspect out there in Waikele?
Yes, it was. It was our, and it's one thing about our crime reduction unit. They are the plain clothes, but they're the ones who we go to when we're really trying to locate people, because they really have the pulse of what's going on out there. I mean, as well as our patrol officers, but obviously plain clothes, you can get to places where the patrol officers cannot.
So to clarify, was it a single officer involved in the shooting?
Yes, it was just one officer who.
Do we know how many shots were discharged?
It was approximately 3 to 4 shots from what we know right now.
What can you tell us about the suspect?
All I know is that he's a 37-year-old male, and I have not had a chance to run his rap yet. That'll be information that we can get to you first thing tomorrow morning.
And do we know where he was hit by those bullets?
From my understanding, it was in the chest area.
And as far as you know, he has not deceased. He's at a local hospital. Do you know the condition?
He's still in critical condition.
And no officers hurt, obviously.
No officers were injured.
Was there an injury at the Kauai House business?
The owner was burned slightly from the fire that was started.
So we understand the man did have gasoline, so he did actually ignite a fire at the location?
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
And that was extinguished quickly without any damage?
I'm sure that there was damage. I don't know the extent of the damage to the business, but my understanding is the owner was able to put the fire out.
Did tonight's event take on any particular meaning for you in light of what's happened over the past 48 hours or even the last week, the third law enforcement officer shooting with the sheriff at the Capitol last night and tonight? Obviously, it weighs heavily on your mind. The gentleman that took the oath, and ladies, there were female officers as well, and the families that are in the stands looking to you for some type of reassurance.
This job, this is the best island to work for. I mean, we're still the safest big city, in the United States, one of the I would say the safest. And these things happen, and the main thing is that, for our officers, we train them to always keep their eyes open and always to be aware. Not that everyone is out to get you, but you always have to have, your eyes and your ears open and be aware of your surroundings, especially in this type of case where it's a suspect. So, and you know that a gun was involved, so you put those two and two together, you're going to make daggum sure that you're extra careful, and that's the training that these officers that just graduated tonight got, as well as the officers who are currently employed with the police department.
Do you have the identity of the man shot Monday night at the Capitol yet?
No, it has not been released by the medical examiner's office yet, from my understanding, at least from the time I left this afternoon.
What commands was the suspect given today in today's incident prior to the officer discharging?
I don't have the exact commands. I'm sure that they told him to step away from the truck and to raise his hands, or so that they could see the hands.
And he was outside of the truck?
Yes, he stepped outside of the truck, and he initially appeared to be cooperative until he turned and pulled the weapon on the officers.
And crew units do not wear body cameras, so there is no videotape of this particular incident, I assume.
No, not at this time. And the crew units will at some point have the body cameras, but in this particular incident, they have not issued to them yet.